sitting here in beautiful Köln,
Yes,
Deutsch, on a beautiful Saturday afternoon
it is.
with nice weather, better weather than in Holland. Meeting ShantiMayi.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Greetings and welcome.
Yeah. I got your book through a mutual friend, Giovanni, one of your students in the past time.
Still,
Still?
I would say that we're always together. Mm-hmm.
Is it so that...
Is she still learning? Is that what you're asking? Is she still learning from me?
Well, I was wondering, how is that when you give someone like Giovanni a new name, a special name? Is it like a closure of something, or does then the journey start?
Yeah, no, I don't. You know, I have to kind of personalize this because it's really up to Giovanni how she feels about that, not me, right? But when I look at my own guru, that loaded word, I can't imagine having closure. That would be like having closure from the sky.
But normally when I take a course, let's say I take a course repairing cars, I get a diploma.
Big difference.
Someone gives me a hand and says,
Big difference.
Congratulations, you are now officially a car mechanic.
Right, but in spirituality, you never tell anybody else that they're officially anything. I've never said to Giovanni or Prajnaparamita or any of them that they have any kind of certificate whatsoever. Their brilliance, their heart, their intention is their own. And my guru never told me that I was anything. I had to find out for myself. And what I found out was I'm not anything particularly. See? And I feel that this realization, enlightenment, these also loaded terms, are never ending. No one really arrives. It's a way of life. And perhaps I can say that it deepens and deepens and deepens. It's a little shifty. Words are a little shifty when you get to this. This kind of explanation. But no. I would never tell anyone they were enlightened, ever. If I tell them they're enlightened and they don't know, or they have not had that experience, or I think you're doing them a great disservice.
Because then they think they're arrived and that's it.
Yeah, and well, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Enlightenment, huh?
So, Osho, to name someone, he did that on purpose, like a little joke to tell people there, yes, you're now officially enlightened.
Well, officially enlightened is, I wouldn't do that. Everyone is enlightened. Everything is enlightened means that the whole of existence and perception and experience is fundamentally total in scope, and fundamentally total, even though everything appears to be separate and different, yes, separate, no. But realizing that for oneself makes the difference. Or actually, it doesn't make a difference at all. That's the beautiful thing about it.
It stays the same.
I cannot say.
No.
But differences no longer represent separation.
Okay.
In my view, there's differences abounding, infinite differences, but no separation whatsoever. Impossible.
Why do so many people, including me, still think they're separate or feel that separateness?
Think, feel.
Because
you've been told, and because there's. I'm looking out the window right now, and I'm looking at probably a dozen trees, and I'm looking on the dozen trees, probably hundreds of thousands of leaves, and each one unique.
Mm-hmm.
But in that, there is to explain, and we have to be very careful that this explanation does not become an answer, but becomes a doorway.
Mm-hmm.
That again, fundamentally, essentially, this is all brought about by what we could say in language. Eventually, we don't use any language at all. No knowing, no not knowing, those terms don't apply. But now we can say that essentially and fundamentally, to get back to the point, everything is created, so to speak, out of, so to speak, a brilliant, undefinable, unknowable, undeniable intelligence. How that is, I do not know. And I cannot say that I know that, but I am that. And you are that. And I cannot be, in this experience, separated from my experience. I cannot be separated from you as you are right in front of me. We can be different, but you're here, right in the midst of my experience. Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, that's one indicator, is that everything that you experience, you are inseparable from, due to experience itself.
So no separate experiencer of the experience.
I would say absolutely not.
No.
To me, there's no duality, there's no non-duality.
Ah.
Those are great teachings. They apply to some degree. They deepen one's understanding, but eventually you cannot apply that either.
Can that become another mind game, that non-duality thing? That
It can, yeah. I also feel it's a great teaching. But people oftentimes, from what I've seen, from what I've experienced, because I've been around a lot of spiritual people, a lot of spiritual circles, a lot of people come to me who've been in other places with other people. It can become, yes, a bantering back and forth rather than a deepening, because eventually you will not know.
I won't find the answers.
There are no answers.
Yeah. That's how my quest starts. You have answers, and you have questions, and you're looking for answers.
Right, and that's valid, and it's a noble pathway. Excuse me, and that quest is. Look, it gives me cold chills to think about it. The quest, for acknowledging one's true nature. But any answer that you get, in my view, I can only speak about my view. Everything else is up, even my view is up for criticism, up for grabs, yes or no. In my view, the answers are doorways. They're not arrivals in themselves. If I say to you, I'm seeing or perceiving infinite amount of leaves out there, and essentially they are not two. That should not be an answer for anyone to repeat.
Why not?
It's a realization. It's something that settles in, and one, I don't know. I cannot say, and yet I am. Yeah, and I feel that whatever I say after I am ShantiMayi, I am this, I am that, is a very temporal title or identity.
Yeah. Is that why living as a separate entity
cannot be? You cannot use the word separation. Sorry.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Unique.
Oh, unique.
Different.
Okay, but I was referring to that's why it gives so much anxiety, because deep down you know that it's like sand clipping through your fingers.
Why is that? Why does that bring anxiety?
Well, for me it does.
Well, why not just accept it and let it bring whatever it brings, and you're fine with it, and that you come to be at peace with
what is?
Well, yeah, and give up your expectation about the way it should be,
Mm-hmm.
or why that is frightening, huh?
Well, the simple answer would be that because you think you have so much invested in this.
Oh, come on, like what?
Like, like what? Well, for example, if you type in my name in Google, you will find, let's say, maybe 50 websites with all things, creative things, movies. Things.
And what if you changed your name?
Well, I think that would bring out a lot of frustration, but also again a lot of peace. I think, because this name, it's.
But it's just a name. It's just a set of letters. It's important. I'm not denying the importance. If I called you Jerry Smith, you wouldn't answer. So that is really important to your name. But we're going deeper than the surface.
Mm-hmm.
So the name is surface. Why is it surface? Because you can change it. Why is the body surface as important as it is for navigating through this existence? Because it changes.
Yeah.
It really belongs to the experience of Earth. What's deeper than that, or more fundamental than that, or more pervasive? The word "more" is kind of shaky here. What is pervasive? What is fundamental? How is it that I move and have my being and have intelligence? And where did this brain come from? And these bones and this marrow and this skin? How did all of this design come into being? How do I experience any of this? I don't know. But there is satisfaction. Not looking for it, not seeking it out, not wishing it was different. And then in everything you experience that is so. And it goes way beyond knowing and words. It's just, here words become very, very, very delicate.
When we just met here in Köln, you told me you have to be fearless to...
Fearless.
Fearless. To
Fear's okay too. I mean...
Yeah. You mean by even touching this subject or reading books, or how do you mean fearless?
Well, just exactly as you just said. How did you put it? Yeah, that we have so much invested. These are just ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of investing is, and ideas are important too. They're the play of consciousness. The fear of letting your ideas drop away like rain into the earth and soak you with a kind of wonder. And even the Zen masters would say, eventually the wonder ceases. But fearlessly wonder and be in the state of wonder. What is this?
And that could be of a glass of water.
Yeah, even the beautiful sound.
Yeah.
Anything that you are, that you appear to be. So all of a sudden, like you say, the sand, the ocean brings the water in, brings in the tide, and the sand, whatever has been there and structured, falls away. But what falls away offers the opportunity. Words are very, 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 very delicate. Offers the opportunity for a greater view. So now your focus is not on the sandcastle, but the whole beach is available now, so to speak.
So then every drop of sand is...
No.
Yeah?
No, you go. I'm not going to do that.
I'm thinking then every drop of sand, how you call it, coral, is as important as the other one.
It is. Worlds within worlds within worlds within worlds within worlds within worlds.
Yeah. Well, where does it leave me?
Who are you?
Well, let's say I'm sitting on the beach and I have this little space reserved for me, with my towel and my drinks and my radio, and I would like to have a special place on the beach.
Sure, and you do. You're a unique individual. We'll wait till the airplane goes by a little bit. Oh, helicopter. Yeah, well, you're still there. First there is a mountain, then there is no mountain, then there is. You know that one? You know that Zen statement? It's very deep and it's very accurate. So first there is you, then you disappear, so to speak. All of the identity and the ideas have fallen away just for a moment. Let's say just for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And maybe your body doesn't disappear. Maybe it does. It does when you watch TV, by the way. People are enlightened. In my view, they're realized 1,000 times a day, but they don't realize that they've realized.
Watching television.
Whatever.
In a movie, in a drink.
In a restaurant, in the car.
Yeah. You disappear.
You disappear.
You
do. Yeah. And there's but your environment and your experience.
Yeah. It feels great driving a car like that.
Yes, it does.
Why is that?
Because
I'm out of the picture.
You're in your element. Everything that you've had to uphold falls away in the drive.
Yeah.
They say that you're in a trance when you drive, but my view is you're in a trance. This is trance. Have you ever gone through a door and it says entrance, enter trance, huh?
Everything is trance.
Yeah, in a way it is. But when we let go of our ideas, I think we're very fortunate. And we see the fearlessness of our heart. And we see in everything and everyone, not the same, not different, not one, not two. No word can define. And yet, this fundamental respect for all of existence comes into play. And then you may or may not like, or you may like or dislike some things. Like I don't like to eat liver. Excuse me, I'm not, there's things I'm fond of and not fond of. And great Zen masters say this is a disease of the mind. Well, I know it's a disease of the mind, but I still don't like liver.
And people, for example?
Yeah, and people too.
Let's say that this man who's now running for president in America, Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, how cool is Donald Trump?
Yes, you like him? Yeah.
It depends on where we're talking from. If politicians, I think they're shaky. The whole thing is shaky nowadays. It's become shaky. I don't like to talk about politics so much. But let's say that all of those ideas just disappear. That's very easy. Then to me, Donald Trump is also totally and absolutely, without question, and fundamentally, the totality of all things.
Yeah.
With a capital T.
Capital
T.
T of totality. Yeah. Well, I look at Donald Trump, I see a big kid with a suit on. You know, he seems so playful.
Yeah.
Doesn't take things too serious. But,
Right.
Well,
Well, I don't know who's going to do what there, but I live in France.
Yeah.
And I don't pay much attention to the French politics.
No.
Mm-mm.
Talking about the heart, your book says the heart knows.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I know. I think I know out of experience. I think I know because I read the daily paper. I know because I'm informed. I watch the news on television. What's the difference between knowing from the mind and knowing from the heart?
Hey, this is a great question. Again, depend. This word depend. I was just speaking with one of my doctors and students that I have just learned a word in Chinese that is sin, Xin, and that word means the heart and mind, physical, spiritual, inseparably, as one total.
Mm-hmm.
So here we've got this idea that the heart and mind are separate.
Mm-hmm. Not?
There's no separation anywhere.
Okay.
I was happy to get the word because, yeah, that's right. So in alchemy, the heart and the thoughts or mind, because mind's a very deep topic in itself, like what is that? But the heart and the mind are married, and you cannot think without the heart. The heart is revelation to oneness, so to speak. I'm not so fond of oneness, but I think it's a really good step.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a resonance of heart. Love. When you love someone, you are really vitrified to them. Vitrification is like glaze on clay.
Mm-hmm.
You can think all kinds of things, but your heart has shown you union.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference between thinking and deciding and defining and separating and positioning. And the heart
And the heart.
displays union. And to the alchemist, he can or she can not think without the heart engaged. It's part of the story of alchemy.
And with alchemy you mean?
Turning base metal into gold.
Yeah. So is that what you do with your students?
I make great suggestions. Means I don't know if they're great to them or not. To me, just to say that there is no separation is a great suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not it's the way I speak. And then they either take it or they don't.
Yeah.
It's up to them.
You're not a teacher who sends people out of the room. You know, there's some teachers who say, well, what I'm telling you is it's not for you, or it's not perceived by you as the way I mean it. How does that work? That dynamic?
It's a resonance of heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's a transmission, and I sense that my Guru's grace is on that, my lineage's grace is on that our work has imbibed an environment
Mm-hmm.
of resonance. I feel that that's really true. Could be, could not be, but that's the way I see it. And love. And I don't like to be an example for people, but I think I am. And I'm very loose around the edges. I'm not a disciplinarian in any sense or anything like that. But I think those resonances of lineage, some people would say no, but I say yes. okay? Love, caring for the student, not expecting or pushing on them that they should be different than they are. I think that all creates transmission.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they will take it where they take it, whether I'm a disciplinarian or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is up to each person to receive the inspiration that they're asking for, I suppose. And they do.
You've been almost doing this for 30 years,
Yeah.
talking about this beautiful subject or this beautiful thing called life or whatever we want to call it.
See how words don't, they kind of lose something, don't they?
Why is it that doesn't become boring, talking about this?
I was just saying in satsang last night that this is one of the most important topics in life, ever. And there's nothing boring about it. You know, in my spare time, I'm either on the computer or I'm looking into the old sages and seeing what they had to say and how that gives a kind of effervescence to my heart that this conversation's been going on for. Or this versation. I heard that in Italian, versation means to pour.
To pour?
So this pouring has been going on for a long time through shamans, through traditional earth religions like American Indian, Australian Aboriginals, or my view is it's the only topic on earth that's worth considering. Then everything else has is more vibrant or more tender or more. Again, the word more is shifty here, but it adds to life and adds to the fearlessness of death and passing and the fearlessness of letting your ideas go by.
So how come this topic isn't front page news tomorrow?
It's not money making. It's not immersed in the market. It is to some degree. I mean, my gosh, from the first time I started this and went to visit my guru, you couldn't find a... No. And now you see Ganesha and Buddhas everywhere, you know, and Kuan Yins and all this. I think it's really good. Good, bad. But it's not a market. It's not a marketing topic. I always, you know, in Buddhism, in really deep Chan Buddhism, it is said, and I agree humbly, at least through my experience, not just through my ideas, that there is no pathway to enlightenment. So my view is that if anybody packaged, it would be incorrect. So this is deep, personal, intimate experience. And the personal and the impersonal are not two. They're not one, and they're not two.
But at least the suggestion of this, wouldn't that be great news to bring to the world? That's maybe why I also traveled 300 kilometers from Holland to here.
Sure.
I could sit outside in the sun watching beautiful girls go by. You're beautiful too, but a different... Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know, when this subject when it touches your heart, it really feels like the only thing worth really talking about, but spending time on.
That's what, look, you just said it. You have the key there. When it touches your heart.
Yeah.
And then you have this. I sense that. I came across my thoughts today that this is a great privilege to consider this matter. When you read the old Zen masters, I mean, hundreds of years ago, they say the same thing is said today. People are engrossed in things that looking for satisfaction, looking for something to fill them up, when in fact they are already filled up, and no need to look for satisfaction. Well, you have come to a divine, what I call divine means undividable.
Mm-hmm.
To me, divine means undividable. You have come to a divine curiosity. You're so fortunate. And everybody will come. Eventually. This is the great story in the Bhagavad Gita when Krishna is standing before Arjuna and he shapeshifts into the universal form. Thousands of arms and big old teeth and fire coming out of his mouth. And Arjuna's going, wow. And he says to Arjuna, everyone is coming to me from all sides. That's... So eventually people will. I mean, my view is that, at least for this moment, is that this is what Earth is about. Recognition. And then beyond cognition. Right here, not somewhere else. Beyond is not in another place. It's just the relinquishing of notions and titles and strict, confined thinking.
And this has been so throughout of all ages.
Looks like.
Yeah.
If you look back in the scriptures or in the conversations of the great masters, they say the same thing. Which makes you wonder, is every life cycle going through these kinds of initiations? Is that what's happening here? I cannot say, but looks like, at least it applies to some degree.
Yeah. So I was wondering, you travel around the world talking all parts of the world about this subject. Is the way of communicating it, it's always in English, but I could imagine that we're now in Germany. We had World War II. People of Germany seem to be a little bit still feeling guilty about everything that happened. Is that something you feel when you talk, for example, here?
Sure.
The collective pain,
Absolutely.
the collective guilt.
Yep.
How do you deal with that? How do you talk about it?
Talk straight through it. We don't talk about it. We don't ignore it, but it's not the topic. The topic is that everything that you put onto yourself, the guilt, the shame, the titles, the names, all of it will have to be stripped away, little by little, or peeled off. All these barriers to deeper understanding. And it just can be washed away like the sand on the beach is washed away by the tide. Same analogy.
Well, maybe it's my projection, but when I walk down the streets here, I feel so much sadness.
Yeah, I feel some sadness around the entire world. I mean, the world is just in a tumultuous mess. Humanity is. And though that is true, and though I care, my work here is to very shaky words, deepen my understanding. Relinquish the world, actually, while caring for it. Jesus said, be in the world, but not of it. So again, it comes back to relinquishing the ideas that we have about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, we actually get to see through that. And though we may feel guilt and though we may feel sadness, our feelings do not define us. We don't need to deny them, but they don't define us. There is no definition. It's so beautiful. It's exquisite.
So it doesn't make you sad, all the sadness around the world?
A little bit maybe,
Yeah.
sometimes. But I don't mind to be sad. But the sadness is, I believe or think or am or refuse to permit the sadness to contain me so that that becomes my defined experience and everything else falls apart. You know, like, well, nothing would fall apart, but in my view it would, because here I am, I'm a sad person around the world. And I have an idea inspired by the bodhisattvas that spiritually ignited people such as yourself must maintain joy. And in the face of sadness, natural joy, so that people don't forget what's inside of them, that there is joy, like the color of the leaves, it's more than enough. You know, it's like, I've just been enthralled by the beauty of the yellows and the greens and the way the sun shines through them.
Yeah.
In the world, but not of it.
So the miracle is constantly yelling in our face.
It is. As ourselves. Those eyes that you have, where is the sight in them? You know, it's like, it is so deeply mysterious, and I am all is Isis. Huh? It's about as much as I could possibly say, really. It's probably too much. Even though, like the old Zen masters, they would say, stop thinking and stop talking, but the book's this thick. It's still important what they're saying, even though the book is this thick and the words and the thoughts are there. Like that.
Yeah. Let me open up your book.
Sure.
There were a couple of things which, again, touched my heart. Here on page 93, for the people who have the book in front of them, ShantiMayi says, only the perfect resists, or I hope I translate right, because it's in Dutch. Alleen het volmaakte blijft. The hidden beauty in truth is everything that is truth.
Yeah, with a capital T.
What's the difference between truth with a small t and a capital T?
Okay, the truth may be that, okay, this is the story of your truth and my truth. I find that really
That's so
difficult. Yeah. So what it is small truth is my opinion, my view, and your view and your opinion.
Yeah.
And those can change. But truth with a capital T cannot be found, cannot be held, and yet is. As all things are, is perfectly as it is.
And must be true.
Well, we use that word. It's a pointer. You have to be really careful with words. That what's truth really mean? Oh God, I have no idea. Do you?
Well, if I think about this maybe absolute truth we're all searching for, must be true all of the times, everywhere. Doesn't make a difference where in the world, when, in what kind of circumstances. And
but what's it mean?
What it means. Yeah.
You have a sense of it, don't you? Yeah, I have a sense of it too.
A taste.
But a realization of that. But after that, realization, or in the center of that realization, or whatever, the definition falls away.
Yeah.
Which is really a lovely thing.
Because
Because you're in the throes of the experience. So just stay there. Where else would you want to go?
yeah, well, the mind says there must be something more special than this, or
Yeah, but now you know better.
yeah, yeah. I'm glad.
Yeah, me too.
But it took me like, let's say, well, 30, 35 years to.
Could take lifetimes.
Yeah, and isn't that a waste?
No.
No.
I mean, no, because everything is, here we go with the definitions again, but let's go there. Everything that is the play of consciousness, they say in Hinduism, which I really, it's a very good way of looking. It's the creative expression of the divine intelligence, the inseparable intelligence from all things. The leaf is intelligent, green is intelligent, wind is intelligent, everything is of its divine nature, inseparable nature, which is difficult to talk about.
Yeah. Well, when I look into my life, I think, well, how have I not been recognizing this the last 30? How could I look beyond, or how do you call it?
It's your
Beyond that?
lifetime to do so. Maybe in the last life, maybe there's no other life, but let's say the divine, who knows? But let's say this creative intelligence wants to play out a politician named Donald Trump, or a crazy person who shoots people in schools, or a great saint, or a river, or a cloud, or a yellow leaf, or a grain of sand.
It's not up to me to say what I should be in this life, during this lifetime.
Maybe it is, but now you have that awareness that you have maybe some responsibility towards your own relinquishing divisive and containing ideas. That you have some responsibility towards that. I think some people would disagree with me, but I don't know how else to say it right now. It becomes, I mean, in my view, it becomes a cherished kind of awareness. Just, yes, of course, why would I do anything else?
So we've been talking now for 40, 45 minutes. I haven't heard you use all those popular terms like ego.
Well, you won't hear me use that word.
No.
No, because there is a sense of separation, but there is no separation. So when someone says you have to let go of your ego, in my view, what it means is you have to let go of the idea of separation.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you throughout all the scriptures and through my own experience that for sure there is no such thing as a separate individual. Uniqueness, difference, yes. Separate, impossible. And ego means separate. Me as opposed to you. There's no such thing. So I'm not going to ask anybody to get rid of something that isn't there.
No.
But if they want to talk about that, that's fine.
But could you maybe in a teaching tell to me, well, stop thinking you're so special? Or maybe...
Well, yeah.
Because for me, that's a big...
Or that you're unspecial. Let's not go the other route
Okay.
either. Let's not slide down the board or climb up it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running into this sometimes where I see spiritually deep people who are teachers. And it's not a criticism. It just comes around me. That's the only reason I'm noticing it, actually. Otherwise, I could care less. It's right in my environment. So that wants to be something here, and okay, that's a teaching, no problem. But for everything that you really want to be, for true understanding rather than understanding, for true understanding, so to speak, one will have to strip away every last notion.
Notion of.
Me, you, high, low, guilt, fear, incompetence, greatness, any comparison whatsoever.
Vanity. Yeah.
And still, you can comb your hair and look nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the identity with that. It's an interesting word. I-dent.
Yeah.
There's the dent, huh? Identity. So, and identity is harmless as long as you're aware that that's, this body is not myself. I don't even know if I have a self. This self story is a little perplexing, but it's a very good direction. But I have no name. I mean, I've had many names. So that was one way that it helped me a lot. I am not my name. I'm not the body, but thank you for navigating this experience.
Mm-hmm. Is that also a reason why you sometimes give your students a fresh new name? Because
they ask for that.
They ask.
Oh, I never would do it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I have given sometimes. It would be very rare that I would give somebody a name without them coming and saying, "Can I have a name?" I think. Did you ask for a name, Sahar? Right. And I don't think that there's a couple people who did not. But out of the years, I think maybe 5 or 6 out of hundreds. But the name, I feel, fits them really well. But it's another name.
Yeah. But maybe it could help that there's not so much invested in that name.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a blank sheet of paper.
That's right. What a beautiful notion, a blank sheet of paper. What can you do with a blank sheet of paper? Everything.
Yeah. But you could start writing all things that makes
Yeah, and then you can erase them. Or get a new blank sheet of paper.
Yeah.
But it's a very good example. Isn't it beautiful out there? Look at the sun and how...
Yeah.
It's just exquisite, huh? And so when I dropped the notion that it's just absolutely exquisite, it's still absolutely exquisite.
And you could say that about about
everything.
This experience, this appearance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A great mystery, in my view, a great mystery, without an answer, but a way of life. This is a way of life. Discovery, uncovering, stripping back.
There's a lot of ignorance going on then about, for example, how nature works. When you see all those little ants working together to create something beautiful, how come when you look at it, how come you cannot be in awe about this and think, well, it's a mystery how that works,
yeah,
and how this works. When I cut my finger, it grows back again, or
you're right. It's all pretty amazing, and it's a dream. And it's changing. It's called a dreaming because it changes, and it has very specific rules and laws. To be a green leaf has a very specific law, as opposed to being an ant. And yet both are moving, so to speak, the physical or the appearance is moving through time, coming and going. It's amazing. I don't get it. I've never been able to get it. I just don't get it at all. I tell this to people. I don't have any answers. Zero. Some signposts along the way. Maybe, if I'm fortunate, some inspiration that I can offer.
The easy way would be to call this an illusion.
Well, that is true.
It's true that it's an illusion?
Yeah. Why?
why is it true, or why?
Why is it an illusion? Why is it true that it's an illusion?
Because it comes and goes?
Yeah. There's no root to it whatsoever. It's like trying to capture a second or a word.
So nothing permanent, except permanence.
Yeah, I don't think the word applies. And that which is said to be permanent and that which is said to be changing are not two. Inseparable. Nothing. There's no such thing as separation. And this is one of the things that I have a hard time with, is the true and the false. In my view, it doesn't apply, true and false.
Some teacher I spoke said there are no mistakes.
Who said?
Lisa Cairns from England. She said there are no mistakes.
I agree. We can say we make a mistake because, okay, we have to go back and do it over. But, and we don't have to go back and do it over, but we would feel, maybe sometimes we would feel the need to move through that experience more smoothly, with more intelligence, with more skill. So we could call it a mistake, but no mistakes, no coincidences.
No coincidence?
No!
You say that with a...
Do I?
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's any coincidences. Coincidence. Everything is incidence.
Everything is incidental?
It's occurring.
Yeah.
It appears to occur anyhow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
So ShantiMayi, any final words you want to say to our viewers and listeners? Are you coming to Holland? Maybe
No? I don't think so. I don't think I'll be in Holland for a while. Germany, here I come often. I used to come to Holland, but I haven't come to Holland for a while. Is that true? Yeah. Last time was the time Naropa invited me to Holland. But that hasn't happened for a while because I think he's busy with his own students now, you know.
Yeah.
So I come to Cologne, live in France, going to the United States, live in India, like that. Is there anything? Yeah, there is. A very beautiful statement dropped into my heart one day. Somebody was writing a book and they wanted me to be a part of that. I like this story. And I was looking through the book and seeing what other teachers had said, you know, because he wanted a little statement. And I said, well, okay, I got to make a statement too. And I was looking at the teacher's statement and I thought, I don't have any statement. What the heck is this? You know, these guys made some brilliant little comment. And then this comment, this inspiration fell into my heart that says, the essence of spirituality, awareness is the essence of spirituality, and being willing to be aware is the great turning.
Being willing to be aware
is the great turning.
And why is that?
Because you'll take, I don't know, because you will, the word responsibility comes again, because you will take it upon yourself to say, yes, I will drop that idea. It hasn't served me very well. I don't like so much. It doesn't work for me anymore to have resentment. It doesn't work for me anymore to be judgmental. A little bit of that goes on anyhow. We can't say it doesn't. It doesn't work for me to compare myself to anyone. So I'm willing to be aware that that needs to be relinquished. It's not important anymore. It's a great turning. It's a great turning.
Okay.
And awareness is the essence of spirituality.
So not being aware, but awareness itself.
Yeah, well, being aware.
Being aware also.
Yeah, but awareness is the great, is the essence.
Yeah.
And awareness, whether you're aware or not. Mm.
It still goes on.
Well, the totality of all things does not depend on anything. It just is.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. You either tune in or you don't. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you, Patrick.
Hmm.